A dress causes controversy. Kanye West said, what? And my man, LP stops vlogging. I'm Gloria Borga, and this is Pew News. Stop. Brad or Brad 2, what the heck are you doing? You're supposed to edit the lasers so they come from my fingers. Instead, you just blast them all across the screen. What am I even paying you for?
Hello.
Brad 2. It's Brad 1. This boy thinks we've got time to actually track the lasers coming out of each of his individual fingers. Like we ain't got better to do with our day.
I know, right? Like, he's not paying us enough, man. What the hell?
He didn't pay us anything. On top of that, we've got an hour to edit each of these every day.
Like, he's literally making us into slaves. Like, this is ridiculous.
Into slaves. This is ridiculous.
Good evening, I'm Gloria Borga. Your favorite news, the most reputable news source in this entire world. Our first story comes from Twitter. And my god, is everyone tweeting this at me. So apparently some guy got really mad and upset that some girl who's not Chinese wore a Chinese dress to prom, and she's not allowed to do that because that's cultural appropriation. And I'm not gonna do a racist Chinese accent for this. That would just be horrible and racist. I'm not like Jeremy, just dropping N-bombs and other racist derogatory terms left and right while calling other people out. Wait a minute. I just don't understand. I just don't understand how people can use such foul, inconsiderate, disgusting, hurtful language. I'm just thinking about everyone getting culturally appropriated right now. Somewhere, somehow, somewhat, someone is wearing something that they are not allowed to wear. And that's just mean and hurtful. And I'm glad we have people like Jeremy Lamb, literal saints, calling these people out. Jeremy tweeted out a statement after being called out for all this. Yes, I used to be more ignorant than I am now. My youth was not perfect. It was problematic. What? Can we all just have a round of applause for Jeremy? I don't think he's got enough of it. He had a non-perfect youth, everybody. Alright, so to summarize, in case I didn't explain it well enough, this guy just found this girl on Twitter, and she was wearing a Chinese dress, and he made this tweet, and it got a lot of retweets. Why this guy thought to take it upon himself to speak for all Chinese people, or all Chinese women for that matter. It's not like he's worn the dress. And then completely just defending himself after being called out. Just be honest and say what it is. You wanted retweets online. You wanted attention, and you knew exactly how to get it. This whole fabricated social media outrage is just getting old at this point. I'm sick of it. I don't even want to waste any more time on it. Let's move on.
Wow, it looks really lame without any lasers, doesn't it? Remember everybody, don't take what you have for granted. Life could always get worse.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. If you guys want to stop cultural appropriation, just buy the hat, the Suka Blять hat merch. It's got 5 days left on it before we never sell it again. And we don't ship to Russia, so that means anyone but Russians can wear it. And today in awesome news, guys, Orange Shirt Kid finally was made into a dance in Fortnite. Remember Orange Shirt Kid? He didn't win the Fortnite Boogie Down Challenge, so he would be made into a dance in Fortnite. And everyone got really mad. And he clearly should have won. This is the best dance I have ever seen in my life. Well, I got good news for you. It's made into a dance. How great. I'm sure he's going to get part of the revenue, of course. Now, this is all thanks to fabricated social media outrage that started by Dolan Darker. Starting the hashtag Justice for Orange Kid campaign. For real, I think it's cool that Epic Games finally listened. he deserved to win. It's sort of not funny anymore. I feel like now it's the meme is dead, and I truly understand how people feel when I review a meme. I mean, when PewDiePie reviews a meme on Meme Review. I get it now. Next news. In today in awesome news, Ass is coming out on every single console ever in May. And today in awesome news, Logan Paul stopped daily vlogging. Wait a minute, are you telling me someone that is making less ad revenue than ever and probably selling less merch than ever decided to go on another path of earning revenue? I don't understand this. I don't understand it at all. Please buy a hat in case you haven't already. Honestly, legit, I am making more on selling these hats this month than I'm making on ad revenue, despite uploading daily content. Do you understand how bad ad revenue is? I might as well not even call myself a YouTuber. I'm a hat salesman at this point. That is my profession. And really just, I want to thank YouTube for having such great way of monetizing on their platform. It's wonderful. I'm so thankful. You probably noticed Kanye West has been tweeting a lot lately. Among things, what he tweeted was, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." This got a lot of news coverage and it became sort of a controversial statement. Let's see why that is.
Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which, by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents did, and it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans.
Then following up with self-victimization is a disease. We have freedom of speech, but not freedom of thought. Now, I talked about ego a few videos back, and I realized now, I was wrong. Kanye has such a massive ego, and he's so aware of it that he doesn't back down of what other people criticize him for, which is so rare these days. The fact that everyone just backs down is what has created this polarizing climate of ideas, where we all know in a public setting what ideas are allowed to be said and what ideas are just plainly not. And a lot of times common sense is forbidden because it doesn't fall in the pool of thoughts that we're allowed to say or allowed to think because they're somewhat controversial, and they get attached to all these extremist groups, when really a lot of times we're just talking common sense. Obviously Kanye thinks like this because he's a very successful guy. If anything, it's nice to see people staying true to their ideas, because for too long everyone is just bought into the same sort of mentality. I've done that mistake myself. For example, here with the case of the dress, I'm glad that Kazaya decided not to delete the tweet and be proud of her dress. Just because it sparked public outrage doesn't mean that she thought she was wrong. And in my opinion, she wasn't. Next news.
Nice to see you, Danny. I'm going to take a nap.
Let's talk about Avicii. You guys probably heard, was it a few weeks ago? Avicii died, and it sort of came as a surprise. If you've seen photos of him near the death, you could tell something was wrong. Avicii died of apparent suicide. He really struggled with thoughts about meaning, life, happiness, and he could not go on any longer. He wanted to find peace. This whole story sort of hit a bit too close home for me. It's young Swedish guy. I think he was my age even, from Sweden. He described himself as an introvert. He just had a passion and became successful. Obviously, I'm nowhere near successful as Avicii, but it's too similar to me. I feel like in another universe, this could have been me. I obviously don't know Tim. I never met him. It's not really fair of me to project a bunch of ideas around it. In 2016, Tim Barling stopped touring because he had some health issues, but he also said, to me, it was something I had to do for my health. The scene was not for me. It was not the shows and not the music. It was always the other stuff surrounding it that never came natural to me. All the other parts of being an artist, I'm more of an introverted person in general. It was always very hard for me. I took on board too much negative energy, I think. I can imagine Tim just wanting to create music. He's just a passionate guy that became successful, everything that came with it was just too much. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I know it's not really fair of me to do, but I want to be able to discuss this at least, or what I think about it. Because a lot of people look at people that are successful and they just think, how could they commit suicide? They have everything. And I'm not saying that so that I would get some sort of pity or like, oh, it's so hard. It's really, that's not it at all. I'm just saying it for you guys so you understand that this whole idea of fetishizing success in a way that it's the ultimate goal, and if you get popular, then you've acquired everything, and if you required money, then that's all that matters, because it really isn't. And we really need to stop thinking that way. I've talked about happiness a lot on this channel. It's a topic I discussed a lot because I've seen so many people struggle with it. YouTubers, I mean. Because I think constantly being evaluated by numbers, as soon as you make one mistake, it will seem like the whole, your whole fan base and everyone has just turned against you. With a tragedy like this, I feel like I want to do something about it. I feel like I can do something, but I don't know what. When I filmed Scare PewDiePie, I think that was the worst time for me when I did YouTube, because I felt so trapped doing something that I didn't really want to do. I was taken away from what I really wanted to do, was to make videos, but my network at the time had just put up so many projects and so many things on me. I was stuck doing things that I didn't want to do, even though I had the dream laid out for me. And as an introvert, a lot of times things that seem attractive and amazing things is just a chore and a pain, and it's not for everyone. I realize in a way now I'm talking about Tim's suicide in a way that for me to talk about my own problems, but I do think they correlate in a sense. Like I said, I don't know Tim, I don't know what he went through, but from what I can gather at least, I feel like I can at least understand it to some degree. We're so stuck on this idea that successful people have everything. It makes it even harder to open up about these issues. I'm just really, really sorry. And my thoughts go out to Tim's family and his friends and his fans. That was it for Pew News, everybody. Way to end it on a high note. Thank you for leaving a like on this video. Check out the merch and all that stuff. I'm Gloria Borga, and this is Pew News. See you next week.
You don't get an outro. You don't deserve one.